Hello, everyone. My name is Ben Murray. I'm the choir director at Fox Chapel Area High School, and wanted to spend some time going through the different offerings that the high school choral program has and how students, in particular, our incoming ninth grade students, can sign up for choir. Feel free to contact me at any time. I'd love to answer questions, and we would love to have your son or daughter involved in the high school choral program. Here on the first page, you're just going to see a few things. These are actually performances from last school year, the very end of the 2019-2020 school year. You see here on the left, this was our madrigal singers at the high school, performed about a month before we went into quarantine last March. They performed in February, last February at Hines Chapel at the University of Pittsburgh. This is our concert choir in the middle performing at the high school, and here on the right is our treble singers, and they actually did a clinic at Seton Hill University last November. So the high school choir program has spent some time with students thinking about our mission and what it is that we do. This is a mission statement created by our students. The Fox Chapel Area High School Choral Department aims to use music as a tool to develop connections between students and the community by fostering individual and ensemble growth through meaningful musical experiences. This past summer, prior to the 2020 school year, we held a high school music ensemble leadership academy where we met virtually once a week with students from the band, orchestra, and choir programs to talk about various leadership components that relate to the music department. And as we did some breakout sessions, I had choral students start to look at what are the guiding principles, or what do we want the guiding principles to be for this particular school year, being that this year was so unique and so different. And with all of the safety guidelines, it made it challenging for us to follow the quote unquote status quo. So the couple things that our students came up with at the Leadership Academy was they believed strongly that we needed to keep a sense of community within the choir. They wanted to be challenged to become better musicians. They wanted to have some type of performance opportunity, even though we were unable to do live in-person concerts throughout this year. And then they wanted to be able to provide consistent input. So let me just talk for a second about what we ended up doing this past year. As many of you know, we were unable to perform our live concerts in person and for the public inside. We were not able to do our typical spring trip. We were not able to do our outings in December where we go and we perform throughout the community, whether it's singing Christmas carols or other events during the month of December. We weren't able to do any competitions in the spring. So that provided some unique challenges. We were not able to sing all together, being that for most of this year, we've been in the hybrid model of learning. So what are some of the things that we ended up doing? Well, we had some students that created a thing called Choir Buddies, and once a month, or almost once a month throughout the entire year, we met virtually as a choir and did various community building and team building activities that were designed for our upperclassmen to meet our underclassmen and kind of collaborate a little bit on various things. And that was one of our ways that we tried to create community. In addition to that, when we met virtually each day for class, we frequently did breakout rooms or breakout sessions where students could be interacting with one another regularly. Challenged, we wanted students to be challenged throughout the year, so we did definitely, I met with a lot of students individually to provide feedback. Students submitted videos or recordings to receive feedback. For performance opportunities back in the fall, we created some virtual performances where students submitted videos and we combined them together. I will tell you that takes a tremendous amount of time to put all of that information together, or put all of those videos together, but it did turn out really nice. And in the spring, coming into the spring semester, we are planning to do some recordings, whether it be outside or whether it be in the auditorium with our students, and trying to combine those elements together with masks and whatnot. And then frequently we had students provide input, whether it be just informal input during class, and also sent out some Google Forms for students to provide feedback. I will tell you that this year is not the norm, and that I am optimistic that we will be not necessarily returning to the normal that was, but hopefully taking what we've done thinking about it, thinking about how we want to move forward and how we want to grow from this point on. And that's really what I'm excited about for next year, and hope that's a really, really great thing. What is my goal for the 2021-2022 school year? I just want to get students singing again and getting them singing again together in person. So let me talk through the few things or the few ways that students would sign up for choir as a ninth grader. We have 3 curricular choirs at school, at the high school. And the first is what choir would ninth grade sopranos and altos sign up for? So any of our girls in ninth grade, sopranos and altos, would sign up for treble singers. Treble singers is a full year class that meets 2 days a week for one semester and 3 days a week for a second semester. This ensemble is for 9th and 10th grade sopranos and altos, although we do have some 11th and 12th graders that will also be involved in that ensemble as well. Students, this group would perform in all of the different concerts throughout the entire school year, and may, depending on how we move forward, will have an opportunity to travel with us on the spring choir trip if that ends up happening next year. Again, that's kind of to be determined thing. Make sure when you schedule that you clarify that you're with your counselor that you are signing up for both semesters. And here you'll see an example of what a schedule would look like. So your main 4, I'd say your 4 classes, math, science, English, history, are all in there. Because it's the block scheduling, you're going to have to think about how a 2-day treble singers and a 3-day treble singers in 2 semesters fit with other electives. So typically in your freshman year, treble singers pairs well with your health and your PE or your phys ed classes. And then you still have 6 full other courses that you can get in there and be able to make that work. So that's treble singers during your 9th grade year. Again, I strongly encourage you, reach out to your guidance counselor right from the get-go and say, I want treble singers to be scheduled for the full year class, okay? And it is a full year class. So 9th grade tenors and basses, or 9th grade boys, would sign up for concert choir. So here's concert choir. And concert choir is a choir made up of 9th through 12th grade boys and 11th and 12th grade girls. It also meets throughout the entire school year. It just meets over different periods. So this is a 3-day one semester, 2-day another semester. Again, it pairs well with your PE and health, but it can also pair well with if you have a science class during the first semester and you need to have a science trailer in the second semester. Sometimes those pair really well with those. I will tell you, with both of these choices for 9th grade, if any student is struggling to get this in, talk to your guidance counselor, say, we want to make it happen, what can we do? And always feel free to reach out to me. I'd be happy to answer any questions about all of this, but we almost always are able to get students in if they would like to. So those are the 2 choirs, treble singers and concert choir. Again, treble singers is for 9th grade girls, or sopranos and altos. And that is, again, a 2-day one semester, 3-day another semester. And then concert choir is for our 9th grade boys, or our basses and tenors, with a 3-day one semester and a 2-day another semester. The last ensemble, which is not available for freshmen, but I wanted to just mention it. It is our auditioned choir that is for 10th through 12th grade tenors and basses and 11th and 12th grade sopranos and altos, and that is Madrigal Singers. It's an auditioned group that students at the end of their 9th grade year will be eligible to audition for. If they are tenor bass, sopranos and altos would be there at the end of their 10th grade year. To be a member of Madrigal Singers, students must also be a member of concert choir. Madrigal Singers, as an auditioned ensemble, they are the group that performs very high level literature, and then they frequently will take them around and perform at various conferences, competitions, and the list goes on. They'll also do a lot of outings during the month of December. And the way that would be scheduled in here is concert choir is a 3-day, 2-day, and madrigals would be opposite that, which would be a 2-day, 2-day 1 semester and a 3-day. I actually think I typed that incorrectly. Concert choir would be 3 days, 2 days. Madrigals would be 2 days and then 3 days in the following semester. You're going to notice here that what I did put in here, you have your math, science, English, history. I will tell you that many, if not almost all of my students in Madrigal Singers are involved in some type of AP classes. And are able to work this in. So notice that they still have an elective here, and then their science and math trailers, if they were to take them in the first semester, the science and math trailers would be in the second semester, and they are able to make that work. So that's the option for down the road. In addition to that, we have 2 extracurricular choirs. One is called Volpes Cantantes, which is Latin for singing foxes. And that is an auditioned group for sopranos and altos, grades 9 through 12. I will be reaching out to our incoming 9th graders by the end of the year to have them audition for this, because we start right up at the beginning of August. This group has been meeting throughout the school year. In the fall, we actually met outside, and we're going to be starting back up here at the end of March to rehearse until the end of the year, and we're going to be recording a few things for a spring concert. So Volpes Cantantes is excellent. They've performed at several different conferences and are just a really fun group. It's really nice to get together on Monday nights. We sing, we have some fun together, and do some really nice things. In addition to that, we have a men's ensemble that typically meets before school. We actually did not run men's ensemble this school year just because we usually meet at 7 o'clock in the morning. So we decided not to do that this school year, but we hope to bring that back next year. And as you see there, that group is just a really fun group to work with. So what do we work on in choir? Well, we this past school year, our approaches for teaching and content and curriculum have certainly changed some, but the general guiding principles, our mission, and our core curriculum have not. So what do we focus on? We focus on music theory and literacy skills. That is at the core of what we do, especially in concert choir and treble singers. So we do a lot of sight singing. We build vocal technique. We spend time on ensemble singing and how do we sing as an ensemble, which that has definitely been challenging in this current year environment. And we hope to get back to a more traditional setting next year. We do community building activities. So there are some days that we just talk about music and we break out into breakout sessions, or in class we do breakout groups and we just talk about music. Why is music important? How does music connect to the greater world? All of that kind of thing. We spend time on social and emotional learning. We spend time just being able to write. One of the things we did this past fall was we talked about writing lyrics and writing poetry, and how do we dive into that? And it actually provided a great way for students to just get what their thoughts were down on paper. And then we ended up finding that was a really unique way of allowing us to share some of those things that are hard to talk about. And then, of course, we talk about music history. One of the things that we're really proud of in the high school choral program is that we sing music that is from many genres, many styles, and many time periods of history. So our students will learn music from the Renaissance, they'll learn music from the Baroque, they'll learn music from the classical and romantic time periods, but then they're also learning 20th century music, singing music that's jazz influenced, that's gospel influenced, that is pop influenced, that's musical theater influenced. All of those types of things come together, and I think that's what makes something really, makes our program really special. And lastly, what does a typical year look like? Well, a typical school year in the choral program, we would sing 4 concerts throughout the year. We would usually do a concert in October, December, sometime February, March, and then another one in May. In addition to that, we've done about 35 or 36 years of a concert choir invitational where we invite 3 or 4 other high school choirs to come to Fox Chapel and sing a concert with us. That's a 5th concert. This past year, obviously that changed a lot in this school year, and we did not do any in-person concerts. Looking ahead at next year, I am optimistic that we'll be getting back to some sense of normalcy, but we now have had a year and a half of not doing that, and that I don't want to all of a sudden throw back in, boom, here's 5 concerts. Let's go. Let's do it. We're back to normal. I just don't think that's fair to our students. We want them to be successful. So we might be doing 2 concerts next year. Maybe if we're feeling really good, we'll add in a small outing somewhere or some capacity. Of course, with where we're at right now, the safety guidelines will dictate how we move forward. December outings are events that typically madrigals, sometimes treble singers will join in doing, where we'll sing throughout the community, for nursing homes, for the Rotary Club, for events at some of the local churches, for Aspinwall Sharpsburg Light Up Night, and other events throughout the city as well. So those are always really, really fun things in the month of December that we do. In the past several years, we've done a lot of clinics with local universities and professional choirs. Some recent engagements, we've done clinics and performances at Belmont University, the University of Pittsburgh, Susquehanna University, the University of Notre Dame, Northwestern, Baldwin Wallace, Seton Hill, Temple, Mansfield, and we did a clinic 3 years ago with the U.S. Army Voices in Washington, D.C. We've done lots of clinics with various choral composers. We've done adjudications and competitions. Our spring choir trip, unfortunately, was canceled last year. We were supposed to go to Nashville. We don't have one planned for this year, obviously because of safety guidelines. But we do enjoy doing some traveling with our students, and then lots of social gatherings. As you can see here on the screen in front of you in the top left-hand corner, that was caroling at Aspinwall Light Up Night last school year. The clinic at Seton Hill, we had several students last school year. This is a week before quarantine, when those students were at PMEA All Region Chorus. This is our men's choir retreat. This was Madrigal's pumpkin carving party in October of last year, and this was our opening retreat at the school last September. So some really, really fun things that they get involved in. I would love, love, love to work with all of your kids. I think the choir is something that is incredibly fun, and just getting people singing and being together is a really special thing. I encourage you to make sure that you get your son or daughter signed up for treble singers if they are a soprano or an alto, a girl, and a tenor or bass. They should sign up for concert choir. Double check with your counselors that you're signing up for the full year course, so that way they're ready to go. If you have any questions, please do not hesitate to reach out. Let me know. My email address is on the first page here. It's Benjamin_Murray@fcasd.edu, and my last name is spelled Murray. And that's also my office phone that's listed there as well. Feel free to call or email, and I'm happy to answer any questions. I will be reaching out to all current 8th grade students that are enrolled in choir to encourage them to come up and join us. We would love to have them. The one thing I did not mention in this presentation was the high school musical. A lot of our choral students are very much involved in the high school musical. It is not a requirement to be a part of that if you are in choir, nor is it a requirement to be in choir if you are involved in the musical. But again, we strongly encourage them to do so. So I encourage them to get involved. And this is the shameless plug. We have our high school musical this year is going to be streamed virtually on April 15th, 16th, 17th, and 18th. You can find information on the district website. The show is called Songs for a New World. It's going to be a really great production. We would love for you to check it out, to purchase a ticket for the stream. Again, any questions, feel free to let me know, and I look forward to meeting your sons and daughters next year in the choral program at the high school. Thank you so much.